The Caucasus peaks arise to touch the ancient southern sky, where Colchis and Iberia saw early ages fly. The golden fleece was sought along the fertile coastal strand, where Greek explorers traded with the native kingdom's land. In 326, the Christian faith took hold as Saint Nino converted kings, as history has told. The custom script was written down to teach the local tongue, as early church liturgies were beautifully sung. The Arab caliphs took Tbilisi down the river plain, inflicting centuries of conflict and imperial strain. But King David, the builder, rose to claim the royal right, expelling foreign armies with his military might. In 1121, did Gori's battle won, began a golden age beneath the medieval sun. Queen Tamar ruled the golden realm with charity and grace, advancing arts and literature across the culture's face. The Mongol horde swept through the hills, destroying towns with dread, followed by Timur's fierce attacks where devastation spread. The kingdom fractured into three separate small domains, as Safavid Persia and the Turks imposed imperial chains. King Erekel II saw its a protective eastern line and signed the Treaty of Georgievsk in 1789. The Russian Empire took the land to guard the Christian throne, but annexed the territory tight to make the soil their own. They stopped the royal Bagrationi dynasty's long reign, suppressing local language rights to cause cultural pain. The railway lines were laid to connect the growing town, as industrialization rose beneath the Russian crown. When Russian Revolution caused the ancient Tsar to fall, Georgian leaders seized the hour to answer freedom's call. In 1918, May 26 was the date the Democratic Republic formed an independent state. But Soviet armies marched to take control of every street in 1921, forcing a sovereign defeat. They formed the Soviet Republic on the mountain floor, closing the brief democratic independence door. Joseph Stalin gained the power, controlling Soviet space, inflicting heavy purges on his native birthlands erased. The Second World War brought heavy losses to the front, as hundreds of thousands of soldiers bore the fighting brunt. The post-war years brought agriculture, wine and tourism trade, while quiet dissident groups against the party were made. The tragic April tragedy of 1989 ignited independence movements down the national line. The Soviet Union cracked and fell away from central power, and independence came to light within the historic hour. In 1991, the public cast its vote, restoring sovereign statehood that the Constitution noted. A brutal civil war broke out across the early space, as separatists and regions forced a fractured border place. The Rose Revolution arrived in 2003 to challenge corruption and keep the government free. The Russian army launched a sudden military strike in 2008 across the northern border dike. The conflict left deep fractures in the territorial frame, as separate regions claimed a non-recognized name. The modern nation looks toward the Western democratic tier, seeking European integration closer every year.